Hello and welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. My name is Chris Au and I will be your host for today's show. We will be interviewing Dina Nesterenko, an incredible violinist, as well as the founder of Open Classical, Mark Lanson. We'll also hear a fantastic performance of the Beethoven Fifth Symphony First Movement on solo violin. Incredible. All of this is to serve musicians and music lovers out there by providing performances and music that is live and will give valuable inspiration to all audiences out there. And this is because it is our passion to be connecting musicians and audiences in real-time music performances and live programs from around the globe. Hello, welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. This is going to be such an inspiring show. We have a violinist, an incredible violinist, Dina Nesterenko, who's performing for us the first movement of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony on solo violin. I don't think we've ever had that on our show before. And we'll also be chatting with Open Classical founder Mark Lanson about his project combining classical with rock and pop, different arrangements, and there'll be others, little surprise snippets of pieces arranged for violin solo by Dina Nesterenko in hopes of fundraising something amazing that she will produce. This is a really cool project. I am so proud that we are able to have her on this show and so privileged. This season is about a bit more than halfway through, and there's so many things going on. We currently are about to embark on some orchestra performances where the incredible soloists are going to be playing with orchestras around the world, and they auditioned here on our live stream, and now they're going to be performing in live venues. We are also having incredible Beethoven documentaries being shared. There's interviews and broadcasts coming to you live every single day, and it's a really busy season. We just also wrapped up a Carnegie Hall show, 2 performances at Carnegie Hall just last week or the week before. This is a really jam-packed season and we're just getting started. This in between performances, we're providing value. We want to give content that's going to be inspiring, and today is just going to blow you off your seats. So without further ado, I want to introduce a little bit of the season that we have ahead, and we have a video to show you about that. So as you can see, there's so many amazing performances coming up, as well as things you can go into in person. We still have one Carnegie Hall performance coming up in July, and that is one of 4 or 5 that we are having this season. And there are many performances that are in person, performances with orchestra and many others which are part of our season that's not just online but also in person. We are trying to do this hybrid model so that musicians and music promoters, managers and artists can promote their work, not just online, but also in person. And I love that. We also invite musicians, educators, publishers, media managers, artist managers, and many more to be part of our show in order to share insights, to help musicians, to help everyone navigate this sometimes difficult, confusing world out there by inspiring others to see what other people are doing around the world. We are going to be interviewing Mark Lanson, who is the founder of Open Classical and a fantastic violinist, violist, and composer, who's also going to show us what else there is after perhaps school, after graduating, after competition days, and seeing what else is available But first, I'll be talking and introducing the incredible Curtis and Juilliard graduate, the semifinals of the 1998 Tchaikovsky International Competition in Moscow, Dina Nesterenko. I want to go say a little bit about her first before we hear her performance of the Beethoven Fifth Symphony for solo violin. Just the first movement today, and I'm sure more to come. Russian-born violinist Dina Nesterenko established herself in the early years of her career as a winner of numerous competitions, as a frequent soloist with orchestras throughout Russia. In 1995, Ms. Nesterenko won the second prize in the Kloster Schontal International Competition in Germany, where she was also awarded the Virtuoso Special Prize. And that just is the beginning of it, because she's then won so many different prizes, and as I mentioned, was a semi-finalist of the 1998 Tchaikovsky International Competition in Moscow, and was also the youngest participant. Ms. Nesterenko holds graduate and undergraduate degrees from the Juilliard School, and an undergraduate diploma from the Curtis Institute, and a doctorate degree in violin performance from Stony Brook University. She is a fantastic violinist who also does so many different things, and I cannot wait to have her on and have her perform for you. Without further ado, let's introduce Dina. Hello, Dina.
Hello.
It's so nice to have you. I'm really excited to hear you perform, and without further ado, let's hear it.
Thank you. I would like to play Beethoven Fifth Symphony, first movement, without the repeat to save some time. That's in my arrangement for solo violin.
Wow, that was fantastic. That was really fantastic. I mean, that's crazy. On 4 strings, you're able to do that. That's amazing. Do you have the whole symphony ready, or are you just doing the first movement?
For right now, just the first movement. I looked at the last movement.
Yeah.
Not all symphonic works actually work for solo violin. For example, I wanted to do Mozart Symphony Number 40, and it worked only until a certain point, and then just didn't sound good on the violin solo. So not everything
But this
works.
sounded fantastic on the violin. I really, really like it. That's
Thank
really
you.
great. I know you have some other surprises for us. Would you like to tell us a little bit about them and perform a little snippets of them?
Yes, snippets. So one of them is Barbie girl chaconne in Baroque style.
Yeah.
So that's based on the song. Sorry, I'm trying to rest my hand.
Sure. Yeah, of
Um,
course, of course.
That's based on the Barbie song that everybody knows. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, right? That's the
Yeah.
song. And when I heard it many times, I realized it has not just Baroque, but actually Renaissance modal harmonic progression. And I thought I can compose a chaconne even like in pre-Baroque style, because it's modality. And after composing it, I was invited to do presentations in colleges, music departments about that, and writing the harmonic progression on the blackboard or whiteboard for students, and
That's
performing that.
fantastic. And I know you're fundraising something at the moment. We'll talk about it a few times so everyone can get a good look at it. We've also created a little QR code, little thing for everybody. So if you scan that QR code, it goes directly to the website, the GoFundMe website for your project. Can you tell us a little bit about the project?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm here with a wonderful, wonderful musician and director of Open Classical organization that I closely work with, Mark Lanson.
Okay.
And Mark is actually also an amazing recording engineer, both for video and audio. And we just did a professional recording of Beethoven Fifth Symphony. We are going to publish it soon, so we recorded it already. And I have so many arrangements, and I would like to make it into a solo album. And Mark is helping me with that, but of course it costs. And we do need to fundraise for this because unfortunately I cannot afford to pay for the recording of
I understand. Well, Mark, welcome to the show. I was going to introduce you a little later, but I think this is a good chance to give Dina a little rest. So you're a wonderful violinist, violist, composer, and the director of Open Classical, and you've performed all over the world in US and Europe, and you've formed both Open Classical as well as Neo Camerata ensemble to perform new classical chamber music in a dynamic pop culture performance. And you Open Classical, you aim to create innovative, alternative classical music programming, combining classical culture with interactive social atmospheres. This is incredible. Tell us a little bit about this Open Classical. When did you create it, and how did you come up with it?
Well, that's how actually Dina and I met, because one of our programs that we run through Open Classical is an open mic for classical music. And so if you're familiar with the open mic concept in the pop music world or folk music world, you show up with your guitar and you sing your songs.
Sure, yeah.
It's open to anyone. And that's the way it is for Open Classical in classical music. If you play anything or sing anything in classical music, we have a paid accompanist that will sight read whatever you put in front of them, and we run these on Tuesdays, and fill up this wonderful wine bar or restaurant.
That's so cool.
We're holding it, and it's just a really fun way to share music and share our love of classical music, with the community. And one of the things that I also run chamber music series, professional chamber music series. And so a lot of times I will be looking for new talent of people that come to the open mic, because a lot of times there's a lot of great professionals that come to the open mic to try out their new stuff. And that's how Dina ended up being recommended to come out to this open mic.
Fantastic.
She came out with a very early version of her Beethoven, just the beginning of it, basically, that she was fooling around with. And it really struck me, just her immense talent and stage presence. Everyone just, there are some people that just walk into any kind of room and you know that they have something special that can play on any stage. And so I encouraged her to build that out and to really focus on that kind of thing and have that be her unique niche, within classical music. And she's done such an amazing job at, really, running with that concept.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear this. This is such a great concept, and you're bringing in a lot of talent. This is not just people sight reading, and it's really amazing performances. Dina, I want to hear this Barbie Girl Chacon, and there's another piece you wanted to play as well. Would you tell us about? Yeah.
Yes, show must go on. It has been my favorite song, my queen, of course, and I absolutely loved the drama of it and harmonic progressions and everything. And
cool.
I was also messing around with this, and I thought, how can I make it so that I can not lose the rhythm and maintain all the harmonies while playing the singing line. And then I came up with this technique, accompanying myself with left hand pizzicato, and while playing double stops by the bow.
Fantastic.
So that's my
Let's hear it. Let's hear both or whatever you want to play for us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll just try. Show must go on. So forth. And so sorry.
That's okay. No.
This keeps falling off when I play.
That's okay. That's okay. No problem. You're very passionate about it, and you're moving a lot.
I move
So
a lot, I move a lot.
I love it. So that's the show must go on, and yeah. I love how you're using pizzicato. I guess that's sort of more percussive an element.
Thank you. I would like to show one more element in this. So
Cool.
it's actually mine and Mark's ideas combined the end of the piece, the rock guitar imitation.
Okay.
So-
Okay. Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I knew you were going to play a snippet, but this is quite a long snippet. That was amazing. I really thank you for sharing
I
that.
a lot. Thank you.
Oh, I love the addition of the pizzicato, and I love the addition of different, sound effects that make it really come alive. Yeah,
Thank you,
really,
thank
yeah.
you.
So, and you also have the Barbie girl Chacon. Would you
Yes,
like to?
yes, I'll
you can
show
play
you a bit of that.
you can play a shorter one if you need a rest.
Yes. So Barbie Girl Chacon also combines of. It's composed after Bach Chacon. So
Of
Bach
course.
Chacon is consists of three parts, right? It's the minor, major, minor. And Barbie Girl, I also did this after the same model. So it has a major
Oh.
part based on the dialogue between Barbie and Ken. That
I
serves
love
as
it.
the Yes, I'll show snippets of that.
Please,
So this
please,
is
that'd be amazing. Yeah.
So that's the first part. So this is the first part. I mean, it continues. It continues.
Whoa, that's so cool. I love it.
Thank you.
It
So
looks
I'd like
harder
to
than the Chacon.
Maybe just similar. But the second part,
Yeah.
the major part, so it's based on the dialogue between Barbie and Ken.
Okay.
And so forth. And
Wow, that is incredible. That
and
is
last thing I want
mind-blowing
to
stuff.
show.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Last thing I want to show. So after this major part, you know, in Bach Chaconne, it's very tragic and even more tragic. The last
At the
part,
end.
the
Yeah,
minor
yeah.
returns. So the major part ends with this, and then it's I call this part "Death of Vanity." And so forth.
Wow. I really enjoyed that. It's very meaningful, especially with the whole Barbie, and we've watched the movie, and there's this whole idea of putting something very beautiful, but in the context of this theme that everyone knows if you've been not living under a rock for the last 20 years. That's amazing. Well, congratulations. So tell me about, is this a CD that you're going to put together? Are you going to release sheet music for this? What's this project that we're going to see you do and hopefully help you fundraise?
Thank you so much. Well, YouTube videos of everything
Uh-huh.
and audio files that could be available on every platform, iTunes, everything. You know,
Wow.
both video and audio. I'm not really planning to do music at this point, like
Okay.
sheet music.
Is it all in your head right now? You haven't written it, right?
Yes. Yes, all in my head.
It's...
I'm not really, I'm not
Yeah.
really strong communicator with actual visual, sheet music. So everything I do is from hearing.
That's amazing.
And by
Wow.
playing.
Maybe what needs to happen is maybe someone will have to transcribe it, and then you can
Yeah.
get the sales for for the sheet music, because this is amazing. This is so cool. Wow! Like if someone played this after the Bach Chaconne, and it's just what a double yeah.
I even
What a
have a
whopper.
name for it: back to back, back to back, back to back.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or Barbie's Bach. Barbie's back. Spark to Barbie. I don't know. We'll have to think of something clever for it. That's really cool. Do you mind if I bring Mark back on? So just we'll finish our discussion with Mark together. Mark, if you could come back and find somewhere comfortable to sit. I have a main question I want to ask both of you is, you're in the midst of your career and your professional life. I imagine you weren't imagining rearranging Barbie into a chaconne when you were still in school, or in your Tchaikovsky competition, or when you were playing with orchestras. What's life been like, and discovering new avenues to make a career after school, after competitions, after your younger days of post-grad? Like what's it like now, and any advice you may have? Mark first, maybe. Mark, you can go first if you don't.
Mark, yes.
Oh, and then Dina, of course. Both of you, of course, yeah.
Well, I will say that both of us are very unconventional as far as in our careers and, what we really like to do within the space of music, that we love so much. I went to Eastman School of Music, graduated from there, and then I went to play about 5 years in an orchestra in Europe, in Spain afterwards. And that's when I started to write music and do things, and I started to realize that I didn't want to play in an orchestra my whole life, and that I needed to do something different, to keep myself really interested in life.
Yeah.
And that's the same sort of thing with Dina. She just, she has her passion is really creating these unique arrangements for solo violin. And, luckily now she has this avenue to be able to do this. And we've done a number of different concerts with that. She does play with orchestras. She's played Beethoven concerto with orchestras. Beautiful. And then do the encore of her, unique solo arrangement stuff. And we also we'll do duo concerts with violin and viola, and play some Mozart, and then she'll do some of her arrangements in between. And so it's we just try to find our way. Everyone's just trying to find our way to be able to to have the artistic expression that's going to fulfill us.
Because after school, you're not told. I find a lot of the time, after school, you're not told what to do anymore. Perhaps you join an orchestra and they tell you what program is happening, but then you don't get any sort of artistic, perhaps independence, or you don't really get to form anything of your own. So I guess that's why you started to create your own thing. Dina, what's your answer to sort of what life has been after school?
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a bit sad story, because after school, so I graduated with my doctorate, and I did not know how to honestly apply myself as a musician, because yes, I was teaching, I had some private students, I did some gigs, but I didn't even think of creating arrangements. I didn't even think of any of that. I thought, at the most I would just go somewhere to a party and play just a snippet of Beethoven Fifth and entertain people, and they just laugh, and that's gonna be the end of it. I didn't think I could ever bring it to a big professional stage. And then I started to, I went to some sort of events where I would bring the violin, and people would ask me to play. I'm just telling how my original arrangements came to be. And people would ask me to play something like Moonlight Sonata, or Beethoven Symphony, or Mozart Symphony, and they start to explain, no, but this is not for violin. Those people are not musicians. They don't even care. Like, just play. And
give me for a lease.
And they just started playing them on the spot. Of course, it would be not polished and not refined, but I would just create them on the spot in front of people, and I could see, that could work if I just spend a little more time on it. And and then I moved to Texas. I moved to Dallas, and I met, the secret of success in classical music, I think it's all about meeting the right people at the right time. And in Juilliard or in my doctorate years, I was just going standard route. You know, what I know exactly is that I'm not a good orchestra player at all, and I don't have interest in that, so I knew that was not for me.
Oh, I see.
Teaching,
okay.
yeah, and then, I mean, I just was going standard route, and I didn't really do anything special. And then I came to Dallas for some personal reasons, and I met the right people. I met Mark, and I came to Open Classical, and I played very beginning of Beethoven Symphony. And he was like, you have to finish it, you have to complete it, you have to do the whole thing. I was like, no, but it's impossible after that. And he was like, no, you will do it. And I did it. And then I met Julia Bushkova, my colleague at UNT. I teach at UNT, University of North Texas. And honestly, I thought that professionals, like very high-level professionals, would not appreciate my arrangements. I thought they would say, oh, it's good as a party joke, entertainment, but not something. But she said, that is your thing. You have to do this. It's absolutely yours. Paganini did this, and Chrysler did this, and on piano, Liszt did this, Rachmaninoff did this. You have to just follow that. And hearing it from professionals like Mark and Julia really changed my world. I was like, okay, I have to do this, and this is where I am right now.
I mean, it's really amazing to have people who believe in you, first of all. But what I love about the both of you is that you've both decided that there's other things apart from the standard route that are available, and it's very inspiring to be able to do them because they feed you. It's not just something that you're doing because you're trying to be different, but you're trying to do something that really gives you a lot of inspiration. Mark, tell us a little bit about how you started doing with Neo Camerata, then Open Classical, and do you play a lot of different arrangements as well, or do you try to arrange things for a bigger ensemble? What's that like for you?
Well, so my unique gift in classical music is really in composition of new classical works. But I also I concept a lot of different sort of crossover projects and things, and I've collaborated. Excuse me.
No, you're okay.
Collaborated with a lot of different different types of artists, like tap dancers, for example. I created a tap dance show. I had a project called Bach Suites and 2 Feet Beats, where I'll play the Bach suite on the cello, on the viola, Bach cello suites on the viola, and then have tap dancers. There's a TED Talk, if you look it up on YouTube, you'll find it easily, where
amazing.
I have like 5 or 6 tap dancers around me, and
very
I'm
cool.
playing
Very
Bach
cool.
C major Gigue.
That's so cool. And it comes alive. The music comes alive when you get to see the dancing and the rhythms and how they adapt to it. That's really cool.
Yeah. So things like that, and then just with Neo Camerata, I had written this new type of classical music. It's really kind of I look at it as a pop classical mashup, but it's really taking classical motivic compositional techniques, just like Bach or Brahms, and Beethoven did, and creating them within the modal pop harmonies and very catchy tunes, essentially.
Wow.
And but with still complicated, complex compositional techniques. So I created these, and despite some initial success with it, I wasn't able to get a manager. I couldn't get record companies. I had talks with Deutsche Grammophon and various different Universal Classics, but they just in the end they said, we don't know what to do with this. So they so anyway, I created this group called Neo Camerata, which had amazing musicians, and we memorized. I wanted to really just create a different performance style than was ever being done at the time. So we memorized all the music. It was all chamber music, and it was string quartet plus piano, which was the core of it. and memorized. And so we gave we performed it like basically like a rock band.
Cool.
You know, standing up,
Yeah.
getting into it. My brother is the cellist of Neo Camerata. He's a very fine cellist, and he actually figured out that he could play standing up.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were in New York, and we were playing a concert with the Five Browns. You're familiar probably with them, right?
No.
And they have
okay,
five grand
sure.
pianos on the stage.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we were opening up for the Five Browns, and there wasn't any place on the stage. Like the entire stage was taken up by the grand pianos. And so we came up, and my brother was like, "Well, I can just, you know, put one foot on the stage and then play cello standing up." And then we all ended up, you know, just placing ourselves around the stage, around these pianos and the crooks of the pianos, you know.
You made it
just
work.
making it work, and it was it worked. It worked really well, but just things like that. So I've created, you know, an orchestral arrangement of one of my pieces that we played with orchestra.
Very cool. Yeah.
We were able to play with at the Cannes Film Festival, for example.
That's incredible.
I did a collaboration, hip hop. It was called a hip opera.
Very cool.
That was on Universal, and that was it's called Forbidden Opera, that we did with a rap
Wow,
artist.
there you go. That's really quite a route. You've just kind of just kept discovering and trying to find different avenues. And we're reaching sort of the end of our show. And I want to ask Dina, how have you liked Dallas as a place of music and creation? And are you looking to continue to settle there? And how are you liking Dallas as a musical place to be?
Well, you know, as somebody who comes from New York City,
Uh-huh.
I really love Dallas because of open-mindedness of people like Mark, musical open-mindedness, and
I see.
and my colleague Julia, and you know, people see unique things and don't look down at them like they do in New York.
I see.
I've experienced a lot of prejudice in New York because in New York, I was in Marlboro Music Festival, and you know, all of those musicians.
Yeah.
But you know, if you are not member of a very well-known quartet, or professor at a well-known university, or member of a big well-known orchestra, then you're a loser. This is how people view you in New York. And you're just dismissed. They're not even gonna give you time of day to listen to your unique stuff or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was very refreshing to be here and meet people like Mark, and you know, I mean, I was so inspired to start creating things like this, because in New York there were periods of time when I absolutely was quitting the violin. I wasn't even playing for a few years. I had zero opportunities, zero inspiration, and I knew I didn't
Sorry
want
to hear that.
orchestra. Yeah. So yes, I'm very happy here. Of course, I miss some things about New York, like Metropolitan Museum or Metropolitan Opera.
But you can visit, you know, you don't have to live there. You don't have to live there. Thank you for sharing, both you and Mark. I think a lot of people post-COVID and the pandemic, they're finding it hard to know where to stand and where to discover themselves within the industry. And obviously a lot of people are trying to go the standard route, but to know that there are people like you who are making a good living, being inspired and artistically motivated and encouraged. And that, you know, as you said, Dina, there's periods of time when you just didn't feel like playing, and it might take some time to get over that and to kind of come back to the instrument with a different light. This is really inspiring. So thank you so much for being a part of this show.
Thank you so much, Chris. It was
It's a real pleasure for me. We'll bring you back on in a second, but I'm going to talk about our other shows that are coming up, and then we'll bring you back on to thank you for coming on again. So this season is really quite exciting. We have a lot of performances still coming up. as you might have seen if you've been watching our shows, and you can watch them back on YouTube or at any of our social media sites, we have been doing many auditions to get people playing with orchestras. We've been doing so many other auditions to get people playing in Carnegie Hall. And so if you'd like to be a part of our show, or you'd like to be part of these auditions, please check out the website you see down there, because we have so many different opportunities and they're just growing. We're a 4-year-old company, and this is just the beginning of it. We have so many different opportunities that are becoming available to us. So next season, if you missed out this season, check us out for next season. We have so many more orchestras, so many different venues that we're doing. And if you would like to be part of our show, if you'd like to have your music featured like we had today with Dina Nesterenko, as well as your organization featured as we had with Mark, please consider supporting us and writing to us and emailing us, because we would love to have you on. We also have a really beautifully made Beethoven show every Thursday and Sunday. This is a incredible documentary created and narrated by Larry Rapchak and produced by New Media Productions, as well as Virtual Concert Halls. And what we've done is we've put the amazing voice and the knowledge of Larry Rapchak and made it visually appealing for everybody to digest the Beethoven symphonies. We've done the 5th, we've done the 6th, we've done the 4th, and we're working on the 2nd or the 1st, one of those in the beginning, and we're just going through them, and they're so fascinating. We're going by movement, and there's so much history, there's musical context as well as cultural context. I'm sure you would love it. I want to make sure we thank our collaborators, people who have been a really big part of our show and our season. These are people who have supported us by giving you, young musicians, opportunities. We have Cicciarone Music Distribution, album recordings, as well as all these different organizations and orchestras who are giving opportunities for wonderful young musicians to share their art. And this is what we are really passionate about doing. And before we end the show, I want to give a big thanks to our team. This team is so incredible. Tech directors, all musicians, by the way. Our tech team is comprised of musicians who know how best to make you sound good live and on live stream, but they are also people who are very passionate about giving opportunities and sharing opportunities with others. And so please, if you would like to join us, please let us know. If you have any other suggestions and like any feedback for us, we'd also love to be a part of that. And with that, I want to bring our wonderful guests back onto the show and thank everybody. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much.
I'd love to hear more. Please, when you have your album release, let us know so we can hear more of your arrangements, and we'd love to promote you. Thank you, Mark, for being part of the show. Thank you, Dina. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll see you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.